fart! Stinks like shit. Hold on, apparently that thing disappeared, like whenever I typically, I found it. That one, like that thing disappeared on my, whatever. I found it. Alright, anyway, yo, what's good, chat? How y'all feeling today? I'm feeling blessed. Back with more of me playing The Walking Dead Season 1. Well, I'm actually not gonna play it. I am gonna have my therapy session at exactly 6 o'clock. I am watching Monday Night Raw. I'm at the end. I'm gonna put the volume down. This is mine. I'm not gonna play episode 4. I'm gonna play The Walking Dead Season 2. Like, I'm gonna just head straight towards that. Oh, role plays later today. 11 o'clock p.m. EST. I don't care. And then we'll end it at 12:30 a.m. 12:30 p.m. No, a.m. 12:30 a.m. EST my time. Without further ado, let's get straight to shit one for all, like this, But like I mentioned, I'm not gonna play. I'm gonna end the stream right after the therapy session, because typically I do, unless I want to play. Hope it goes great. We're gonna talk a bit more about WWE. I'm gonna say I did my research, and I mentioned that those who never wrestled and wants to gain those experience, which obviously I got those experience, like this, because I witnessed how wrestlers fight. You can observe them, and you can like observe them. Hold on, can I put the volume down in here and like there's no background noise? No, not that. So then I don't have to like put the mic volume down, just so you know. Well, I can put the music. It's not like the music is gonna play all of a sudden, right? If it does, that'd be wild. Then I mentioned my therapist. Oh, give me a minute. Anyway, it's gonna start. I gotta get it prepared and shit. Gotta log into my Google account. Bro, I gotta get a new iPhone though, cause my phone's at 54%. It was at 100% earlier. Your phone, or not your phone, but my phone, it drains like crazy. Sheesh. What the fuck? Okay, I was gonna say, why did I got like an email. Appointment. There's a reminder that you have a potential telepath appointment with Natalie. Okay, that's her name, Natalie. Natalie. But yeah, I'm not gonna chat about the shit I typically chat about. That's gonna be next live stream, because I am gonna share play The Walking Dead Season 2 with Andrew. So I'm gonna share play. Oh, mic volume is up, right? Yeah, it is, bro. It feels like it's not. I don't have to mute myself. If she mentioned anything, I have to mute myself, because AZ's like, and he's like confidential information. I feel it because he never witnessed me. He didn't understand what I was referring to when I mentioned I was gonna have my first therapy session on live. I had a couple of them. Typically when I have a virtual session, if I don't, then I'll just explain about it. Okay, we're gonna chat about me being an astronaut. I wanna mention, cause actually I wanna mention this. When you're an astronaut, do you have to remain an astronaut? Like, meaning you can't go back to your family, you can't go back to like gaming and shit. And if she's like, why do you want to game and all that? And I'm like, bro, I'm curious. Like, I'm not gonna make my wife game, cause she is gonna use this channel, actually. She should use this gaming channel, just so she can like stream. But she's not gonna do my intro. She's not gonna say, oh, this is the shit like you typically chat about or whatever. Like, you may possibly forget or whatever. And bro, and this Cammy guy, he is new here. I was wondering if that was one of the 21-year-old, like the one who's 21-year-old, like my age. I was wondering if that was him, but no, he said I'm 10, unless he was joking. But no, he's 10. And I'm like, bro, a 10-year-old can know what sex is. That is not weird when you talk about sex. I was questioning RJ, because I chatted about before with him. He was mentioning something about like playing with each other as if they were having sex, but they weren't. I said I don't care if he chats about it or whatever he was doing with his cousin. I didn't say, oh, I don't care if you have sex. He's too young for that. Like, if my daughter were to go on a date and her man is 11, bro, what if, preteens are kids? Possibly I'm gonna make them go on a date if they're 11, and if that guy that is 11 is eager to have sex, I'm like, hey, if he has a condom, because that is my daughter, and I don't care what she does with him. If she gets pregnant, I'm gonna be pissed at the guy, and they have to break up. They have to. Actually, more like forgive him and they can't visit each other for a while. They have to take a break. Not from relationship, but just overall. But I'm going to prevent her from getting pregnant. How? Is by ensuring that her man has a condom and knows how to use it. Because I know how to use it and I'm like an adult and I never used it. But I know how because I do some research. Always rely on Google. Google is a lovely one. But yeah, my therapy session is going to start. I'm not going to play The Walking Dead. I would love to, but then I'm going to have to end it after the therapy session and hop off The Walking Dead season 1. I am streaming a bit early. Not too early, but, you know, yeah, I know. It's going to be nighttime when it's like 6 something. Like 6:45. Or no, possibly not. Who knows? Because it is daylight saving, and that just means that it's going to save more of that. Like, there's more light. Like, it's like you're saving more of that light from the sun. Meaning the Earth, like the way Earth rotates. And the axial tilt does not necessarily change. It's just how it rotates. Or no, I feel like it does move its axial tilt. Same axial tilt, but the tilt itself. Not the axial tilt, just it tilts a bit. Depending on the season. Unless just because how it orbits and rotates throughout time, and depending on what season it is, it like changes overall the direction, you know. Like, you know. But bro, let's just talk. I'm just gonna talk. But Kim, if you're watching, bro, or if you join, just know. Because I feel like 10-year-olds aren't meant to know what sex is. I mean, who knows? I mean, I chat about with Caleb. Should I chat? I could. I'm gonna say Caleb. But his sister can't be by him because she's a bit younger than him. He's like, what, 11? He just turned 11, like, whenever. Oh, someone just chatted. They're like, what you talking about? Yo, what's good, Panda girl? How you feeling, brother? Or sister? Whatever. That's a sister because they had the word girl. Okay, I gotta be quiet because some girls find it freaky than boys. They're like, what the fuck is he talking about? I'm playing. But because they're younger, well, really doesn't matter. As long if it's not disturbing to them, like whatever I'm chatting about. Anyway, are you a female or are you just a guy putting like female user? And how old are you? And I'm just curious. Just to ensure overall. Don't take it the suspicious way. I'm not asking like that, obviously, because why would I date a minor? I'm with my girl. Yo, my nigga, officially on Fortnite! That took you a year. For real though, you're on Fortnite, bro. You my nigga, bro. You fucking my nigga. Bro, I'll be sure to add you. Just send your user here. I'm about to add Piper, bro. We all gonna play together. Yeah, Piper is a minor, but she's 17. She's 17. Romeo and Juliet. I'm in Michigan. Romeo and Juliet. Let me see what the girl or guy mentioned. Okay. I'm good. Wow, you're chatty bunny. Yeah, problem with that? Are you an adult? I don't care if you're not. I'm just like quite curious because the way you were saying I'm a chatty bunny, little girls don't say that to me because why would they? I'm an adult. As a friend, they wouldn't know what they're saying, but... And is it illegal to be friends with minor and argue with a minor? No, it's not illegal. As long if it doesn't lead to sexual assault, which why would that occur? That's fucked up. As long if you're not going beyond the boundary with a kid, and as long if you're not threatening them when arguing, it's not illegal. People think it's illegal to argue with a minor because they think, oh, I'm a minor, I have rights. Yeah, they do, but they don't have full-on rights. They're not legal adults. Like, I can argue. That just means I'm proving something true or right. I'm a private panda. I am a girl, and I'm almost 30. Wow. I have a girl, just so you know. So if I talk like that, that doesn't mean I'm gonna get with you. 30. So when girls join, they're typically adults. But if it's like a boy, they're typically like preteens or adults or teenagers. Interesting. Interesting how whenever a girl joins, they're adults. Because YouTube is like, we don't want no minor females in the chat. I'm playing chat. It's just rare for a girl to be in here. But if it does occur, I'm going to be friends with them. I'm not going to be freaky, because why would I? I'm not like those. I'm not like those predators. Fuck those predators. Anybody who creates videos and pretending to be like a predator on Discord, or not pretending to be a predator. You know how the guy that's recording pretends to be like a little girl that's a minor or a teenager or whatever, or tween, or a little girl like a kid, and then they actually chat with a predator and they say, I caught you 4K. I should create that video. I want to get plenty of views so I can be like, hey, predators can be in prison. And now I'll call the cops too. I'll add that in my video if I ever create that. And no, it's a good thing to be chatty. I'm not being mean. Okay, because I was wondering if you're a little girl or something, because, like I mentioned, sometimes they don't know what they're mentioning. But you're good, you're good. You're an adult. So, Whatever I chat about, you understand. But if it's like a little kid in the chat and they're like, why you talking about titties and all that, I'm like, when you're older, you'll know. And if they already know, then clearly they did some research and all that. You know how Gen Zs and Gen Alphas are? Well, actually, Gen Zs are all adults. Actually, no. Not all are. No, not all. Just 2005, 6, 7, 8. I feel like those are the ones that are adults or gonna be adults. Well, actually, no, because you never know when their birthday is. For those who don't know, I obviously would know because what if their birthday is on January? Then they'll be 18. So just 2009, 10, 11, and 12, they're not adults. 2009, they'll be 17. 2010, they'll be 16. 2011, they'll be 15. 2012, they'll be 14. So pretty much the ones that are teenagers are the ones 2012 and 2011. And 2010. 29 as well. I feel like, or excuse me, 2009 as well. Those are the ones that are teenagers. The ones that are adults are 2005, 2006, 2007, and 2008. Those are the ones that are adults or gonna be adults. Legal adults, young adults. And I'm as well not really into the filthy scene anymore. I just witnessed you live as I was just watching my video of season 2 of this game. Oh, flirty! I was wondering if you mentioned filthy because of what I'm talking about. Well, it's not filthy, but I was wondering if you mentioned it. Oh yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, I have a girl. Just so you know, she is 17, but we're 4 years apart. Well, actually, we're 3 years apart. She's about to be 18. And Michigan has a Romeo and Juliet law. We're both in Michigan. So if you're like, why you was a 17-year-old? You're like 21. Isn't that freaky? And I'm like, not if it's in a Romeo and Juliet law, or not if you're in a state. Excuse me, not if you're in a state with a Romeo and Juliet law. Oh, 10 minutes. I'm gonna have a therapy session. Okay, those who are new here, and especially you, girl, because you're 30, you know what your shit. I do as well. I have full mental maturity. Even though my brain physically is not fully developed. Your brain has been fully developed. Unless, okay, is the brain fully developed physically and mentally for some? Because I have full mental maturity. But my brain physically is not fully developed until I'm 25 or 30. But is the brain fully developed when you're 25 or 30? Because you said you're almost 30. You're like in your late 20s. Yeah, I'm a gaming content creator. I started exactly 2 months ago. Damn! Great for you! Oh, you were playing Season 2? Just so you know, I can replay all the games. I actually played Season 2 last year, I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, 2 years ago, but parts of January of last year, I was like within the end. I feel like I was in Episode 2, and I was quite near like Episode 5 and shit. You know? But I'm gonna stream it again. Might as well. Anyway, I was gonna mention, those who are new here, I typically have a therapy session, and if it's virtual, I do stream it. So you could be like, what kind of therapist she is, why is she a dumbass, and yeah, when she diagnosed me, it was inaccurate. I'm like, yeah, I feel like therapists should have a degree before being a therapist. Just like a doctor, there's no such thing of an intern doctor. I mean, yes, there is for some places, but why would you want to have an intern doctor that's like an intern? They're in a training point, and then they're taking care of kids. Well, okay. That's like the residency, the medical residency, where to prove what you have, what it takes overall while training. But those are trainers or trainees. They're not interns. Intern is like you do shit for free while training, but it's like you're actually working. You know what you're doing, but you don't get paid. Those doctors, they get paid while training, but they have a degree. So I'm gonna mention my therapist. Do you have a degree? I'm gonna mention to her. If she does, then clearly she didn't pay attention and shit. Who knows? Cause why is she a dumbass? Why is she like, you have to come to me and give me details about the diagnosis? And I'm like, you don't give details. You get test and evaluation. I'm not gonna chat about that anymore. I chat about with her like a few times. And this was like for my traumatic situation because I want to diagnose that, and she said people don't get diagnosed for that. Yeah, they do. Dumbass. She is a dumbass. Not you. My therapist. I have 59 subs at the moment. I as well have high functional. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you were diagnosed with it. I'm sorry to hear that, girl. Me personally, I don't necessarily have any mental disabilities, but a rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very rare and very temporarily and overall very decreased, like very decreased overall. So pretty much I mentioned about this shit like within my recent live streams, and I specifically mentioned about that shit, let us know, and gonna continue chatting about whenever, cause I'm starting to chat about it again, like within this current live stream chat, like within this current live stream chat, and what I could possibly mention about that shit again as well with some of my future live streams, obviously chat, let us know. Anyway, I'm just gonna mention about that. The shit I typically chat about, I'll mention about all that next live stream. But the traumatic situation, possibly not, because y'all know. And that is why I don't like about my mucus buildup. That's what causes the mucus buildup, the acid reflux, the vomiting, the Crohn's disease. Well, the mucus buildup caused the minor sickness, and the Crohn's disease causes me vomiting and acid reflux. It's not a sickness. It's just that the acid reflux triggers vomiting, because if it's like high in acid reflux, there's a chance that you're like, oh man, I can feel that in my chest. Or my esophagus, pretty much. Not actually in your chest, but your esophagus is in the center of your chest, in between your heart and shit, or whatever it's what's in. So if you feel it, that means like, yeah, it's like, you know. But mucus buildup, I hate it. But I don't clear my throat as much. As you can notice, whenever I typically stream, I remembered I did. But I'm managing it, because I blow my nose constantly. But it's all good if you have autism. I have to respect you for who you are, and certain people who are autistic, which it's not offensive to use the term autistic, but certain of them who are, they get offended for certain shit. Well, anybody can get offended for certain shit, but I'm just saying those who are autistic would have a more of an offense like shit, you know. I mean, anybody can stay on my stream. That doesn't mean all of them have autism. Why? Is it that you're gonna chat when I mention not to chat while I'm in my like session or something? But yeah, I was gonna mention, when is the brain fully developed? I feel like 25, because people think it's a myth. I did research, it mentioned it's not a myth. But yeah, again chat, for real though, like I mentioned chat, I don't, and I mean, I don't necessarily have any mental disabilities, but a rare, specific type of mental trauma, which is very rare and very temporary, and overall very decreased. Like, very decreased overall, you know? So, traumatic situation, pretty much. None of that other bullshit. But, if I chat about with my therapist, she said you were tested for autism in the past. I'm like, yeah, but that's clearly bullshit because I was a kid. They could have waited until I was a bit older. But the dumbasses. Yeah, they're psychologists, but some psychologists can be dumbass. Clearly, they don't learn. You know, those specifically, they make mistakes. I just have a traumatic situation. Did I get diagnosed for it? No, that's why I mentioned it's rare. And she's like, confused. I'm like, okay, you're just a dumbass. You're not a certified therapist. I mentioned my head. I don't want to argue with her. Is this the person in the background, okay? No, yeah, she's just, having fun. She's only 11 years old, so you would understand that she's still a kid. But no, this is my sister. I don't have kids. I wish, but I don't. But yeah, chat, you know, I don't necessarily have any mental disabilities, but a rare, specific type of mental trauma, which is very rare and very temporarily, and overall very decreased. Like, very decreased overall, you know. Let us, you know, anyway. Just overall, the traumatic situation shit. Like, that's why I yell at NPC drivers and NPCs, or like sometimes I get mood swings. Y'all know about the symptoms of my traumatic situation, or that my stress, anxiety, and depression is specifically associated with my traumatic situation, you know. Let us, you know, anyway. That's all I gotta mention. But I'm not gonna chat about that with my therapist anymore. We're just gonna talk about my long-term goals, my short-term goals, about like my meeting with my job coach, all that bullshit. I mean, it's not really bullshit, but some of it is bullshit. Yeah, for sure. If I have kids, you're gonna... Oh yeah, when I have a kid chat, I'm possibly gonna have my child in the background. Like, you're gonna see her as a baby sleeping in her crib. So, she won't... People are gonna be like, why do you have a baby while gaming? Because won't you want to have loud reactions and shit? Yeah, but you do realize newborns don't have a sense of getting irritated when something's loud. People think that, oh, you're waking up the baby. No, they do not sense loud shit. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I did some research and it mentioned that they're typically, like, unaware, meaning that they wouldn't hear shit. People, I gotta be honest, talking loud while someone's asleep actually makes you have to sleep more than someone being quiet. You wanna know why? Because we're meant to be loud. It's not sinful. I'm a righteous guy and I know my shit, you know. Let me, you know. Anyway. Appreciate for the sub. Appreciate for exactly 564 subs. Alright, I'm not gonna respond to any of the chats, so if you don't if you don't necessarily mind not chatting at the moment because my therapy session is going to start in 2 minutes. Okay, you can chat for now, but if you do chat within that time, my therapist is possibly going to respond. Sometime, like, I have to wait. Sometime, you know. My phone's at 51%. Hoping within an hour, like half an hour, or just an hour or whatever, you know, like half an hour or whatever. Just know, well, it's not even half an hour. It's more than half an hour. It's like about to be like an hour. Oh, Angel's called me. I gotta mention my therapy session's about to start. Yo, Angel, my therapy session's about to start.
Huh?
My therapy session's about to start. I'll invite you to the voice chat after the session.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, I'll call you back afterwards. She's about to, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, so. Nobody better call while I'm in my session. Apparently someone called like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, oh shit, I hope my therapist can hear me. Cause what if she was mentioning something, and then, you know, okay, one more minute. I gotta put my mic down, like, on the ground, cause I don't want her to see it. Okay, don't chat. Chat afterwards, or actually I'm gonna end the stream afterwards. So if anybody wants to leave, you could. If anybody wants to remain to see what I chat about with my therapist, then you know. But yeah, she diagnosed me for anxiety. Bro, that is a symptom of my traumatic situation. She is a dumbass. You wanna know how she's a dumbass? Cause she is a dumbass. My therapist. Okay, I'm gonna put my mic down. I'm gonna see if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Let me put my Roku somewhere. Can you all hear me? Mic down. I'm gonna see if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, y'all can hear me. And the way I talk to my therapist, that's just how I chat with her. I chat with certain individuals like that. Just how I'm a bit shy. Well, I'm not necessarily shy. It seems like I'm shy, but I'm not necessarily. I chat with certain individuals like that. Just how I'm... It seems like I'm shy, but I'm not necessarily. I chat with certain individuals like that. Appreciate for exactly one... Well... Oh, 6 o'clock! I don't have to mention about the likes, the views. I have one view because I'm watching... It may over add up afterwards or whatever. Okay, I'm gonna join. Let me join. Let me Alright, let's join. Put my brightness a bit down. Okay. Yo, chat.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Doing great. How about you?
Good, thanks. How's everything going?
Overall going great. You know, the weather is, you know, nice. So that's, you know, great feeling.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. Have you been going outside?
Yeah, I have.
Nice. What have you been up to outside?
Just, you know, just over, like, enjoying the fresh air.
Nice, that's good. It is a really nice feeling.
Yeah.
Have you met with Simone yet, or is that tomorrow?
Actually, yeah, I did. She just wanted to see how the resume is, and she wanted to fix some things to see if it's, like, accurate, and, she just printed it out for me, so whenever I do have an interview, I'll be sure to take the, like, resume to that person.
Okay, nice. So how did your meeting with her go?
Went great.
How are you feeling about it?
Just, overall, like, great, and hoping to, like, you know, potentially, like, get a job.
Yeah, that's exciting. What are your next steps?
Once I get a job or before I get a job?
Like, before you get a job, like, what, are you meeting with Simone again?
She mentioned for now that she's just gonna give me some, like, assessments to go in person to, like, see if I like this job or not, just to like pretty much like volunteer for a couple jobs, pretty much like how I volunteered before. So she want me to do that instead of like scheduling meetings for me.
Okay. So do you know where you're gonna volunteer?
At the moment, she mentioned that someone's gonna give me a call, but they haven't called me since like they haven't like called me at the moment. So whenever they do call, then I'll be sure to mention to them like when I'm available and when I'm gonna volunteer, and like if I have a ride, I would usually like volunteer, and then once I'm able to like volunteer, I'll be sure to let you know like what days I volunteer and if it doesn't like affect our session.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, we can always adjust as needed.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. That's exciting. Are you looking forward to volunteering again?
Yeah, just to see like if I like that job or not, pretty much.
Yeah, but you don't know where you're going to be volunteering or what kind of jobs you're going to be doing.
Just until they call me, they'll be sure to let me know.
Mhm. Okay. I just heard some screaming. Are those your siblings in the
Yeah, they're all upstairs.
Okay, what are they doing?
She just like playing like a game on her like iPad.
Okay.
It won't like interrupt our session, right?
No, that's
Okay.
totally okay. How are things at home?
It's going great.
Okay. Anything new?
Just typical things I usually just game and like sometimes I'll like watch like WWE like on the days that they're live.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's exciting. Okay. How have you been doing with like the breakup and everything? Still feeling okay about it?
Yeah, speaking of that, I know usually it takes like months to get into a relationship, but so pretty much I met someone that is like 18 on social media, on like Snapchat, and first, I mean I knew her for like a year, but then I like talked to her about the breakup, and she mentioned that she got cheated on, and I'm like, wow, that's very shocking for her. And then she mentioned like, because usually it may seem like strange for some people where you ask them immediately, but because I'm single and I don't want to like remain single forever, I like mentioned like, do you want to be like together? And she's like, yeah. And then like we got all that thing situated. So pretty much like because I moved on like immediately from that like breakup, yeah, I'm with someone else now.
Okay, congratulations on the new relationship.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So who is this girl? How'd you guys meet?
Pretty much like online, but she's like from the same state, so it's not like a long distance relationship.
Mhm. Have you ever met her in person?
No, but like once I get my license, then I'll be sure to like meet her in person.
Cool. Yeah. So you guys have only talked online so far.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mhm. What kinds of stuff do you guys talk about?
Just like how I like mentioned to you before, how I talk about the future, like with my like when I was with like my ex, and now I'm with her. Since she's like comfortable with it, she talked about the future. She's very agreeable on things. She mentioned that she wanted to be a WWE wrestler as well. And I mentioned to her about me being an astronaut, and I mentioned to her that she doesn't have to be because that'll be hard on the kids, and I don't want them to be like pretty much isolated where they have to be like with their grandparents for a while, and like just overall like if I had kids I wouldn't like leave them alone. Like they have to be with someone, whether it's the father or the mother, just to like know that I would like make the sacrifice, and that like once I do get married, that once she's like my wife, she would like be the one to be either a stay-at-home mom, or that she would have to like be a work-at-home mom, just so like she can still like watch the kids if like, for example, she doesn't trust certain like babysitters or whatever. Like when like once we have kids, like within like a decade or two.
Mhm. Okay, cool. So she's kind of on the same page about some of this stuff?
Yeah, like I remember you mentioned to me like last week, like what if she's a gamer, and I mentioned to her if she's a gamer, and she mentioned that she is a gamer.
Really? What does she play?
Some of the games like I play, pretty much.
Cool. Have you guys played anything together?
Not at the moment, but potentially we'll be able to like game together like online, like on Fortnite.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. That's really exciting. Have you ever played Fortnite with like another girl before, or like a girl you were talking to?
Yeah, I have, but we're not like friends like at the moment. So pretty much I would play with. So I never played with. So I did play with my like ex before when her and I were together. But since I have like another girl, I'll pretty much play with like another girl like on Fortnite that is like my girl.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's exciting. Lots of new things, lots of changes.
Yeah, that's why I adapt, you know.
Yes, you're adaptable. What helps you adapt in those situations?
Not overthink about that my life would be the end. Like think about like who can be interested in being with me, and whether they have a similar situation, like how I mentioned that she got cheated on too, and like she explained like why he cheated on her, and hers is more worse compared to how my ex was pretty much with someone when cheating, but pretty much she mentioned that he was like gonna be with that person instead of her, so pretty much she mentioned that he like pretty much cheated.
So it was really similar to what happened to you, where your ex was kind of like, there's this person I would rather be with.
Yeah.
And the relationship to be with someone else.
But for him, like her ex, instead of like him being with that person secretly or acting like older friends and all that, he was pretty much gonna be with that person right when he like, oh, we're done and all that to the girl I'm with.
Okay. So wait, was your ex-girlfriend with someone secretly, or did she just want to be with someone else?
I would say secretly, just of how she acts around him compared to me.
What makes you think that?
Just how she shows more affection towards that guy, like compared to me, instead of like showing affection towards me and just being like a friend type with that guy.
Yeah, that's hard to see.
Like you saying it's like hard to be believable when like I'm not in person with her, or are you just saying like just the way she acts towards that person?
No, I mean that must have been hard to experience.
Oh yeah. It has been like a bit challenging at first, and then once I moved on and found someone that's an adult, obviously, then like that's how I connected with her.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Did she talk to you about like some of her future goals?
Like the girl I'm with? Yeah, she just mentioned that she doesn't mind having that much kids, or she doesn't mind adopting like kids, and like what's it called? She's like looking forward to like moving with me once I like potentially get my apartment. So pretty much she's more like agreeable compared to like how my ex is, like how she's a bit like stubborn, and she agrees on the opposite or goes towards the opposite of how like my girl would. Like I'm not saying like, oh, my girl's gullible, like she believes everything I would mention, but she would agree on like the right things and disagree on the wrong things.
Okay. Can you think of an example of something she would disagree with?
Like she would disagree on like for example, if she was with a guy that is like a gold digger, she would agree that with a guy that only cares about the money, she only cares about the personality. So she like agrees on like that, because that shows like more of a like more of an affection and not like mentally or emotionally hurting the person. So that's what she would disagree on if like that person were to be like that. But because I'm not like that, she would agree that I'll be like the type to be very generous and like humble like towards her.
That's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Cool. That's exciting. Okay. Was there anything you wanted to talk about today, or anything on your mind?
Yeah, I remembered last week. I remember I chat about like I wanted to be WWE wrestler, and how you mentioned that I have to like go through like school or like some like wrestling school if I never wrestled. So I did research. It mentioned that the performance center for like tryouts could be for people who never wrestled, but it would take more years to be like in the main roster or like the top of like WWE, like where you're more like known, you're not like unrecognizable or like more famous. So pretty much they would build the person's like wrestling persona or like their character, like what character do you want to play as, whether it's like a villainous type or like the hero in like WWE. But it mentioned if it's a bit expensive, when I did research, it mentioned you could go through wrestling school, and if there's like a school where WWE scouts can like notice that person, it wants them to be in the trial, then they can like immediately recruit them to be like in the trial. And how it takes like 4 or 5 years to just be in like WWE, like where you sign a contract and get to know how much you'll be paid like monthly or however that works.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can also, like, because I think I remember you saying that the performance gym is in Miami?
It's in Orlando, Florida.
Okay, Orlando, okay. Is that the only one in the country?
It's pretty much like the main like training center that WWE like owns.
Okay. So, because it's so far away, do you think it might be a good idea to, like, join a local gym here while you're still in Michigan, and then maybe in the future when you have a job,
Yeah, because
you could move to Florida and then join that gym?
Yeah, so because I was actually another future goal I traveled about with my girl, I mentioned to her like because she wants to be a wrestler as well, I can mention you can like join like a wrestling school, or that once we move to Florida in like a few years, that's what her and I were discussing about, like once we have like our first child or whenever, like biological, whenever we get married and all that. She mentioned like she wants to like move to like Florida either like 2031 or like pretty much when I'm like in my like mid 20s, she wants to like move there, and when she's in her 20s.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Since you guys both have that shared interest,
Yeah.
wanting to do wrestling, you guys could both move to Florida together and pursue it together.
Yeah, so I mentioned to her if she wants to be president, and she's like that she would like to see like me as president, and like would hope to like vote for me like once I would like run in my 40s, or whenever like I'm not like whenever I'm just like a veteran from like NASA, pretty much, if they don't have any like missions towards other planet. Like for example, because I did research on like a human mission to like Uranus, Neptune, or like Pluto. It mentioned the next like century, and if there's like a way for humans to live that long, or as long as they want to, whatever. It mentioned like that'll be like in the next century because of how like far it is. So I mentioned to her if like they don't have any mission, and I'm like just a veteran, like I was a former astronaut, then that's when I can run for president, whether in my like late 30s or like my early 40s, like whenever I like want to run for president, if that president term ended, or if they didn't like, if that like future like president, whoever runs for president within that decade doesn't want to run, then that's when I would like run, or that I have the life experience to like be a president.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that's a great plan. How did it feel to, tell her this plan and then have her be supportive of it and say, she would vote for you if you wanted to be president?
Like how does it feel, you're mentioning?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it feels like I feel grateful that she's like in the same page. There's no pressure, and how her and I, we both like support the same political party, and that she wouldn't like argue or disagree unless something is disagreeable. Then she would, and I would like debate on it if that were to be like the case. But overall, yeah, she's very understanding. She's not like a very manipulative like woman. Like she like has a very understanding like mindset like when it comes to relationship, despite her being younger than me, even though we're like close in age.
Yeah, you guys are close in age. How old are you again? 21?
Yeah, and she's 18.
Yeah. Is she in school still?
She is a senior, so at the moment she's a senior, but once she's done, she's not gonna like go to college. She would just like prefer spending time while having a job, like whenever she does find a job.
Okay, cool. Does she have an idea of what she wants to do for a job?
Never questioned her that, but once I ever have the chance to question her, I'll be sure to mention to her, like once she's done with like school, I would mention to her like what job would she like want.
Yeah, that might be a cool thing to ask and see what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Did she ask you questions when you guys talked?
Like about what job I would want, or just like
anything?
She would she mentioned just like once she gets pregnant in the future, once like we're married and whatever, she mentioned like can like females be on anesthesia while pregnant so that she doesn't have to deal with the pain when giving birth. And I did research in and mentioned there's certain times where some like women who have extreme pain or doesn't want to like witness the pain, it mentioned that they could be put on like anesthesia where they're unconscious and let like the medical team like situate that or manage it.
Mhm. That's cool that you were able to find out the information for her.
Yeah, like making sure it's not false and just like a rumor from someone.
Yeah, nice job. You've been doing a lot of research lately.
Yeah, about being astronaut. I was wondering, like, once someone's officially an astronaut, is there like a chance where they have to be like away from like their family or what's their loved one, or like would they be able to like return to their family like once they get finished training for like 10 or like 9 years, depending on like the process with NASA?
I don't really know. I think it depends. I think you have, some choices in that sort of situation of what kinds of work you want to do. Because I don't think there's a big number of astronauts that go to space. I think it's a pretty small number.
So if there's like no mission to the moon or Mars or like Jupiter, if they plan that like within like a couple decades or whatever, if there's no mission, that means they would like want the person to either be able to travel whenever they need that person, or that they would want that person to just enjoy having free time with their loved ones, or being able to have their leisure time, like whether that person wants to game while they're like officially an astronaut.
There's probably work that you would do like on Earth, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So even though you're not, going to the moon or going to like somewhere in outer space, like you probably will still have a job here on Earth while you're an astronaut, like contributing to research and things like that.
Would I have to like live in that state while an astronaut, or they would want that person to travel like once a while if they like ever need that person?
I don't know. I think it depends on the job and where you work. I think there's different kinds of jobs and different kinds of astronauts, and so there may be ones that travel and there may be ones that just can live at home.
Yeah,
these are all good questions and good things to think about.
Yeah, because I did research. Can a person still wrestle or be like a CEO if like I wanted to be like of certain companies, if I like mention it or not? Like it mentioned like while I'm training, like they would have, like, for example, for like wrestling, they would have to take a break for like years and discuss with the team of WWE, or like if the person's like a CEO and like a chairman like running the company, then whoever is like a co-CEO or have a co-partner, then they would like manage some of the companies that person would run. Or like if the person's a president, they would have to be like a veteran of being an astronaut, like meaning they would be like former astronaut and return if they feel they don't want to retire from it, or just never retire if that's a possibility in the future, with like medical advancements to make it where a person could live longer or potentially forever if that's like a possibility within a few decades. So yeah, it mentioned while a person is officially an astronaut, they can it will pretty much be like a work to them. Like they can either like you mentioned, do some research on like the planet and whatever, and whether they want to like head to some place where they can use like a telescope or something where they can be able to observe that planet, and whatever like research they can do before that potential mission, and where they have to like be away from their family if that mission occurs.
Yeah. If you have like a really demanding job, you might have to pick just one thing at a time. How does it feel to think about that?
I mean, because I know like Elon Musk, for example, I know he has plenty of jobs and he's very like multitasking. So if it were to be a possibility where it's like more multitasking type job, and not where I'm forced to like leave all those jobs and only choose one, then I would have to like see if I'm able to like multitask within those like high pressure situation where like there's like plenty of like tasks to like do in terms of like whether it's like an entertaining job like wrestling, or whether it's something like politics or whatever. So regardless of the like job or whatever, I would like see if I can multitask, or whether I have to take a break from some of the jobs if it's like a one job thing where like, for example, a president, they have to like leave some of the jobs and like go back to it like once they finish their term, or if they just want to do one term and do the second term like whenever they like prefer to.
Yeah, that makes sense. How would it feel if you had to pick just one job?
I mean, I would say I can like adapt to it, and if there's like a moment where eventually I can go back to those other jobs I recently had, or if I'm able to not just choose one job and it's like a multitasking like job, like how some famous people like Elon Musk or certain individuals are able to manage like some of those businesses or jobs or whatever careers they have.
Yeah, that's That's true. And you can always have one job for a while and then switch to a different job. I've learned this recently that you might find interesting, but the average person has 7 different careers in their life.
Like Elon Musk, or just like an specific individual?
The average person.
Okay.
So any random person might have, around 7 jobs in their lifetime, like 7 different careers. So you can definitely be in politics, you can be a wrestler, you can work as an astronaut, you can do all of these things and still have room for even more jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, once like I reach that goal, then yeah, I'll have to see if I'm able to like multitask.
Yeah, true, very true. And some people have like multiple jobs at a time. Some people only have one. It kind of just depends on what your life looks like at the time and what your responsibilities are like.
Like possibly my girl would possibly want to have one job and like let the man of the house or whatever like do the work, so that she doesn't have to be in that situation if like she has a different like certain type of interest in like what she prefers.
Yeah, maybe. Did your mom work, or was she a stay-at-home mom?
My biological mom, or like my stepmom?
Your biological mom.
I feel like when she was younger, like when she had me or just like my siblings, like she was a stay-at-home, I'm pretty sure. And then like once she's able to recover from that and that she doesn't want to have any kids, then that's when like she works. Like how my stepmom, when it was like COVID, she had to like be a stay-at-home stepmom. Like she had to like work on computer because she used to work at a dealership, and like she mentioned to me like if I were to get a job there, which I may or may not, just typically depends. And she mentioned that like she usually sells cars, or depending on how many customers are there. And then once like COVID starts slowing down, even though it's still rare for some people to get it or whatever, depending on the virus overall, and because people are like not working in person, or depending on if they prefer virtual. Because it's like a new thing since like 6 years or even before that, and they just made it more common when COVID was a thing, and like as it like dropped, like at the moment she like works at like a liquor store, like within a gas station. And
your stepmom?
Yeah, so pretty much like my dad, my stepmom, or because my dad, he was never a stay-at-home dad. He was like constantly working when my mom was like pregnant, like before, or like when she was younger. And my stepmom, when she had like my like brother, pretty much, because he's still my biological, even though he's like my half brother. When she had him, she like would stay at home stepmom, or like a mom to him, or like stepmom to us. And like then that's when she was able to like work in person and not have to like worry about like any of like having to stay at home.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you remember how it felt to have a parent at home? Like, do you think it was a nice thing to have growing up?
I mean, yeah, like so they could be able to like raise that child, and like not having to be stressed at work and like wondering like what would happen to their child, or if they don't feel comfortable with having certain babysitters, just depending on their like reviews just overall, or like if like my mom like work, or my dad, or like my stepmom, because my stepmom lives with my dad, like my dad would usually be the one to work as well, and my stepmom only like works on Friday, whereas like my dad, like he works from like Monday to Friday. And then whenever my dad, uncle, grandpa, and I, whenever we do sprinklers within like from April all the way to like October or November, like when we winterize, or like when it's warm we repair, that's when like sometime on Saturdays or every other Saturday, that's when I'll be able to work and have like a seasonal job where I can be able to make money. And once I have a job, I can like work from like Monday to Friday if I feel comfortable with working every day, and then Saturday as like my every other Saturday job, where that Saturday I'll either have like a day off, just enjoy the weekend, or like the other Saturday I'll like work for like a few hours and then, or like several hours, and then just be able to like relax at home afterwards. Like when that time occurs.
Yeah. So your like sprinkler job is going to be starting up soon again.
Yeah, next month.
Nice. Are you looking forward to that? How are you feeling about that starting again?
If like for example I haven't found a job, or they haven't responded, then I can consider it as my like I would say like a job that's like not my like main job and just like a side job until I have like my original job where the job from like Monday to Friday would be like my typical job, and then the spring quarter would just be like seasonal every other Saturday until it's like autumn again and then winter of like later this year, since because it could be like spring next week.
Yeah, which is exciting.
Yeah.
But so if you don't have a job, are you going to be working more than just Saturdays?
Yeah, sometime my uncle would mention if I want to work with him either on Tuesday or Wednesday or sometime Mondays if he needs help and don't want to do it all independently, just to like have like a teamwork, then he would usually like call me or text me mentioning if I want to work, and if I mention like I'm not available that day, or for example if I'm hanging with someone and just not available because it's not like my main job, then he would understand. He'll be sure to like let me know that he can like see if he can manage it, or see if someone could like be able to like work with him. But if like I am available, then usually I would work with him, and then usually I get paid from like his own like wallet if he has like enough money.
Okay, cool. It'll be exciting to get outside when it's warmer and to make some money for working.
Yeah, just unfortunately when it's summer, people start complaining like, oh, it's hot, and then when it's winter they complain as if it's like a never happy ending when it comes to like the like balance of temperature, whether it's like hot at that moment or cold, or like a cool temperature or warm.
People love to complain about the weather.
I mean, usually when it's warm, people are like, wow, it's nice, but once it's summer, they're like, wow, it's like humid. I'm like,
it's too hot.
Yeah, like because when I mention to people, oh, I want to move to Miami, they're like it's not just Michigan, it's like very humid there too. So because I know California, it's more of like a mild temperature, because I mentioned to like my girl that her and I could like move there within like 2 decades, like somewhere in like the 2040s or whenever.
Yeah. How do you feel about like the summer versus the winter? Do you have one that you like more than the other?
I would say for summer, I mean, yeah, I do complain about the humidity, but at the end, I prefer that compared to like the frigid cold, where it's very cold and like, and that's where people complain about the weather more, instead of mentioning like, oh, it's nice out and all that.
Yeah, no one ever says it's nice out during the winter.
Yeah, unless people like snow, but yeah, I usually don't like the snow, but I adapt to it. Like if it's raining and I was like gonna have a bike ride, I would still adapt to it, and like that's just the weather.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna ask something else, but I'm forgetting what I was trying to ask. Was there anything else on your mind that you wanted to get to today?
Just at the moment, no, because that's all I want to like chat about, like about me getting a new relationship, and just like a bit more details about WWE or being an astronaut, and a bit more about politics, like how I mentioned, like this is the age I would prefer running for instead of having to worry about running at a young age. So yeah, that's all I want to like chat about.
Okay, cool. How have you been feeling the past like few weeks?
Just overall feeling great, you know.
Compared to how you were feeling, I guess, like in the winter when we first started seeing each other, like how do you feel like you have been feeling different?
I would say just more content, like being grateful to like being able to like meet you and see how the therapy sessions like from like December to like now.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. I know we talked a little bit last week about how this has been helping.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to suggest maybe we kind of go down to meeting once every 2 weeks instead of once every week. How do you feel about that?
So instead of next week, you were mentioning like the week after next week?
Yeah, so we'll skip a week.
Yeah. I don't mind.
Okay, that sounds good. It sounds like things are going pretty well, and you're making a lot of progress on finding a job. So I'm going to say we can maybe go down to once every 2 weeks, so there's enough stuff for us to talk about every week.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and then if anything comes up, or if you feel like you need more support or anything like that, or you want to start coming more frequently, we can definitely talk about that and adjust.
Yeah, so next week's my dad's week, so in 2 more weeks it'll be like my mom's week, so yeah, obviously we would have like the virtual on 2 more weeks.
Okay, that sounds good. So we can plan to meet again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, sounds good. We can end early if you want. If there's nothing else you want to talk about, it's up to you.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, that sounds good. I will let you go then. It was good to talk to you, Mike, and I will see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, bye.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too.
Alrighty. Anybody in the chat? Oh, what exactly is Farhan? The hell yeah! AZ, I would have to mention to him, like I mentioned, he's a bit strict on if someone gives his like Fortnite user or his number. For the moment, for his number, he's not gonna necessarily being able to give it, you know. But chat, like I mentioned, I typically MS stream whenever I have a therapy session. Her and I had to end it quite a bit early. I was just chatting about me being in a relation and all that. I'll chat about I typically chat about next live stream. I don't have to mention about anything. I just mentioned it's great overall because I want to go with the flow, you know. Let us know anyway. Anyway, chat, I'm gonna chat about the chat. I typically chat about next live stream. I'm gonna be sure to call Andrew. Valentina, 7:30. You want to call him? 7:30 because I'm about to call Andrew. How many minutes? Sure. But anyway, chat, I'm gonna enter here if you want to see more of me playing the Walking Season. Well, even though I wasn't playing, but if you want to see, if you want to witness, like 2 more weeks, she mentioned we're gonna have our session. So not next week, 2 more weeks. We're gonna have a virtual session. But yeah, if you want to see more of like what I chat about with my therapist, if you want to see more of me playing the Walking Season 1, be sure to leave a comment down below. I'll let you on Android. Take it easy, chat. Hell yeah, Farhan. Anyway, I'm gonna end right here.